What's up, guys? It's Elliot here, and today I'm going to be bringing you my first official Overwatch guide. I know I did a tanking one, that was kind of just in general, over all the tanks, but I'm bringing you my first specific guide, and that's going to be on Mei. She's one of the strongest heroes in the game, especially in the solo queue meta. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, and she's one of my favorite heroes, very fun to play. So if you're not familiar with her, she's a 3-star hero, and her abilities, kind of make, even though she's classified as defense, her abilities kind of make her more like a tank. She doesn't have a shield, but her ice wall is like a shield because you can block something off. It's also really good tactically to like boost your team up to like a strategic ledge or something that maybe they can't reach. But more importantly, as we're going to talk in a little bit, it's good for blocking things off and creating a path for your team. Secondly, she has an icicle, super strong, makes you invulnerable, you heal, and you can contest points with it. It makes her self-reliant, and again, in the solo queue meta, where you might not always get 2 healers, where your team's a little incompetent, this can be used to contest the point. You can heal yourself, sustain yourself. It's very strong. Then, of course, you have her blaster. She's short range, freeze, really good. That's her whole point. Movement control, crowd control. That's really what she'd be known for. And that's why it's so annoying, especially when your team doesn't have coordination, because she just disrupts everything. And then obviously her alternate fire is an icicle, fast-moving projectile, does big damage, good ult charge, and if you're really good with Mei, this is the kind of the point where you can get more mechanical skill value out of her, because if you're good with the icicle, you can pick people off, you can do good damage, and you can get your ult insanely quickly. Now that was just nerfed in this last patch, but it's still very strong, and it's the main way to abuse Mei, by getting ults as fast as you can to just have it for every fight, because it freezes the enemies and it really makes it so easy for your team to deal damage and combo. So next up, obviously now we talked about her abilities and what she does, we want to talk about when to pick her. And that's one of probably the things. There's a lot of people, as you get into like the lower and medium ranks, and a lot of people just pick her a solo queue meta for attack and anywhere because she's so strong, and that's a good way to play her. And there is obviously potential if you're playing alone in the solo queue meta, which is why she's so dominant there, because she's so self-reliant. You can probably pick her anywhere. It isn't the best advice, but it is a way to rank up. It's a way to really contribute. You can get a lot of value out of her ult, especially, and you can get a lot of value out of her walls to like block off enemy bastions or setups and disrupt. And while that is viable when you start playing at higher ranks, or you start playing with like full teams where there's a lot of coordination going on, it doesn't work as well. And that's why you really want to focus on her. Picking her on defense would be the main point, because when you're going through a choke point, her wall can trap, you can split your team. If 2 people try to push through, she can wall up, block the team off, and you can kill those 2. And then you have advantage in the fight. The other team will back off, and you can kind of just rinse, repeat, do that. It's really strong. And if maybe your Rhine shield goes down, and then they're trying to push through, again, wall it right up. It's really good on defense. And obviously, where they're trying to push through a choke, she can just freeze them. And then she can, obviously, with her icicle, you can poke through a Rhine shield, you can try to do damage, and if you can charge your ult that way, when they try to push through, you can wall throw your ult, you'll kill them, and then voila, there's a fight won. Also going on that, if they're trying to push the point, you can throw the ult, you can freeze them, you can block off the point so they can't physically touch it. That's really good at the end of the rounds. But yeah, you can contest an icicle, and all her abilities are really for defending and blocking stuff off, contesting, freezing, stopping the enemy team from moving in on stuff. And the other thing she's become really strong at is on King of the Hill, and that's because it's kind of similar principles. While it's not as like direct one-way approach, because like obviously you're going through a choke on attack, defend, but on King of the Hill, you can still do it. You can limit which route they can take to the point. You can freeze the point, which makes them get off it. You can contest the point. And obviously, when everyone's on the point, you can just freeze them. And that's really strong in maps, kind of like Nepal's really good on that. Both Sanctum and, I believe, and Shrine on that map are really good for that. It's close range, it's kept tight. Actually, I think all 3, even Village on that map, is really tight. In tight quarters, she can freeze them, she can wall off, there's good angles, and then you're really strong. You can freeze the point, stuff like that. On Ilios is another good example. On Lighthouse, very strong to pick Mei because of all the close quarter combat where you have to freeze and stuff. So picking her on King of the Hill and on like a defending side really gets the most out of her value. And of course, you can pick her on attack, but if they're coordinated, that can be harder, and that would be the one way to deal with Mei. I've been dropping that hint, hopefully, that coordination is the way to beat her. She doesn't have like a direct counter. It's not like Genji versus Bastion, Or it's not like McCree and Soldier versus Pharah, where it's just like you pick the hero and you can counter them. You need coordination. The best way to deal with Mei is coordination, because if she can't single you out and freeze you, she's not going to contribute as much, and that's the main thing. Now, there are some ways to deal with her, like she can't reach Pharah reliably. That's obvious, but so that can be potential, and she has a very hard time freezing Tracer because she can keep blinking. But those don't directly deal with her, because sometimes it's hard for them to get a kill on her, because she can obviously just icicle, she can wall off, and in the case of Tracer, if you get frozen, you will die. So the best way to deal with Mei is simply through team coordination. And if you can coordinate your team to deal with Mei, focus fire Mei down, first priority should be Mei. That's a good way to win a fight. You remove her freeze, you remove her ultimate, and suddenly that's a huge ultimate down. The no crowd control ability means that you can kind of move freely in a fight with like maybe Lucio speed boost, and you should be able to get the upper hand. You don't really need, again, certain instances, even if they have like a Pharah or a Tracer, to try to deal with you. If you're still getting value out of her, that's probably what you would, what's with any hero really, but if you're still getting value out of Mei, you don't necessarily need to switch off. If you're not dying, but maybe you're not wiping them as reliably, but you're still in control of the point, that's one thing. But her real value comes in, obviously, with her ultimate, and that's what you need to get the most value out of. Her ult is insanely good, and even in this new meta, because of the patch, it was nerfed by 40% slower, but you can still get it. I think good Meis can still get it between 45 seconds and a minute, and that's really what you should be going for. And the thing is, maybe you can't spam her ult as much. You don't want to, and because with every ult, you don't want to just get it and use it like you were in the previous meta where you could get ults insanely quickly. Her ult now is obviously, when you get it, you should hold it, wait for your team to either be attacking the point or defending the point, and then using it to try to freeze 3 or 4 of them, get a pick or 2, and then have your team clean up. That's obviously what you shouldn't be doing. So you don't want to overextend with her ult. You don't want to like throw it out when they're coming out of spawn, because if you kill them there, they can just regroup and then use theirs in the point. You want to use it more defensively, and that's probably the main thing. I think she'll still be very relevant in ranked, because just how much value you can get out of her. Her ult still gets incredible value. But I definitely think it's going to be more of a reserved Mei. I don't think you're going to be seeing as many insane Mei plays. You're not going to be seeing as much insanity out of her ult. It's going to definitely be more controlled, and you're going to have to play more with a team with her. But I think that's the thing. If you can play as a team with any hero, that's what Overwatch is meant to be, and I think that's good that they did with that last patch. I think Mei is really good like that, to play as part of a team, and I still think she'll be insanely overpowered, though, in the solo queue meta, where people still can't deal with her because of just lack of coordination. But I definitely think she's still relevant, and hopefully, I mean, she's going to be insanely fun to play anyways, but hopefully they don't nerf her to the point where she's just not fun, because that's really a bad thing to do with the game. They did that kind of at the very beginning with McCree. They did it kind of at the beginning with Soldier, and I think they're finally seeing in this last patch that they're trying to make heroes a lot more useful, trying to make all the heroes useful, which is something I think that's pretty good, and they're making the game a lot more fun, and it's just a great game. And I know this isn't really related to Mei, but it's just my opinions, and I just wanted to get it out there in a video. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I will be coming out with more guides very soon. So yeah, thank you for watching, and see you.